Hello and welcome to another episode of Influencer Profits. Today our guest is Adell. He is a kick-ass coach. He helps other coaches become absolutely unstoppable, be able to create their programs and turn their passions into profits, being able to make six figures and beyond. So I can't wait to get into this guy's brain, really hear about how he helps his clients, how he can help you, and really his story and what he's got going on. So Carlos, thank you for your time today. Thank you for coming on. And I just can't wait to hear, you've been going through so much stuff. You're just getting back from Australia at a speaking gig. You live in Spain, so I can only imagine the jet lag and everything that you're going through right now. So I really appreciate you taking the time and coming on to our show and sharing all of your value with our listeners.
Oh, thank you guys. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here with you guys, and thanks a lot for making time for me. I really appreciate it, and I was really looking forward to be here with you guys and share a little bit of getting to know you better and share a little bit of what I do as well.
Awesome.
So give us the backstory. How did you start being a coach? How did you start coaching coaches? How did you what's the journey? What's the starting point? Why do you do what you do?
Right. So I'm from Spain, right? I'm from my family it's an entrepreneur's family, and we never had much money. I got into my first business when I was 16, and I got surrounded by the wrong people. And it was a business that was very lucrative business, but it was a very lucrative industry. I did make a lot of money. I did learn a lot of stuff out of it. I was following my passions. I was working on something that I did love while I was getting my degree in engineering. I gave it all up at the age of 24 because I thought the right thing to do was joining corporate and, getting a 9-to-5 job and doing the right thing was the right thing. That's what I thought. But 5 years into my 9-to-5, and it was like a complete mess. I was with anxiety. I was unhealthy. I was addicted to the sleeping tablets. It was it was a mess. So I decided to go back to break with everything, just leave everything behind and move to the other side of the world. I wanted to go to Australia because it was the farthest away place I could get from Spain. So it's literally in the other side of the world. And I wanted to reinvent myself. I wanted to build a different person because I wasn't happy with who I was. And then I started to getting into counseling and coaching as well. I started getting in touch, not personally, of course, but with the trainings from Tony Robbins. And I fell in love with coaching. And I started helping other entrepreneurs, a little bit here and there, going online and making money with the passions, but nothing serious because I was still in the corporate mindset. And long story short, I got back to Spain after 5 years in Australia. And then I got back to corporate again, and there I was struggling again with changing career every 6 months, not being happy with anything I was doing, and I decided I was going to build my own business, and then that's what I did. I got more into coaching. I got into online trainings, into everything I could to learn the skills I needed to build my own business. And my goal, the people I was helping were other people changing career. But when I finally kind of understood how to run my own business, then it made sense to help other people in my same journey. And coaches, because we talk the same language, right? It is, we all want to change the world. We all want to change, make the world a better place. We have these big dreams and this crazy willingness or desire to impact the lives of as many people as we can. So it's easy to love them. It's easy to connect, and And yeah, I mean, I got good success, and that's why I decided to help other people achieve the same.
Like, what was the breaking point for you? Because there might be somebody listening on here that, like, I'm in this corporate thing and I really want to be like full-time entrepreneur coach, whatever you do. Like, what was the breaking point for you, and like what really pushed you over the edge to like leave that job?
Yeah, that's a good question, actually, and that's something that I can't stress enough. And to anyone wanting to make changes in their life, look, I was in corporate. I was for 2 years spending every cent I made and every minute I got, I invested into my business, learning, investing into myself, like starting, getting into courses, online trainings, every single thing. I made a lot of mistakes, and I spent a lot of money on things that didn't deliver any kind of result. And then when I decided, look, I'm not going to make it unless I go all in. So I need to get rid of corporate. I'm going to jump all in. I'm going to make whatever it takes to succeed. Then your mindset changes, because there's no fall back. There's no room to fall back. I mean, you only got one way. So basically, I got with my coach, with this coach, who, by the way, wasn't my coach yet. And I spent the last $2,000 that I got in my bank account in a moment when I didn't have any money coming in. I didn't have income. I didn't have anything but $2,000, and I spent every single cent in this one coaching training. And that gave me the clarity, the power, and the certainty that I was going to make it, whatever happened. And I spent this money on Tuesday. And on Saturday, I had made $7,000. And when you go all in, it's like people have too many questions, and they just too many uncertainty and doubts, and they're not sure they're going to make it. That's why they don't want to spend money. That's why they're not making it. So whatever you choose to do, I mean, you gotta make a decision to succeed. And once you make this, I mean, programs work if you make them work.
Fully.
Right? I mean, look, you have to choose wisely. Not everyone's going to deliver the same results. But what it made the difference for me, it was the consistency of all these years working on the same kind of focus. And then the day that I went all in, and I just said, look, I need to make this happen, 100% commitment, and then it happened. Like it was like a magic moment. It was unbelievable.
That's awesome. Burning your bridges. It's actually
yeah.
a post today about investing, and the first time I invested in a program and like really invested into myself. You know, my palms were sweaty, my heart was like ready to beat out of my chest. Like it was like I didn't even have that. Like I didn't even have like a $2,000 waiting around, like sitting around in my bank account. I had like $37 in my bank account. And I had $5,000, and the power of doing that was the year I made my first 6 figures by investing in myself and doing whatever it took and getting past myself and doing it anyway. It's such a huge breakthrough for people.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I mean, look, I can't stress this enough, because some people struggle to ask for money, and coaches and entrepreneurs and affiliate marketers. And the first time I asked someone for money, it was a $97 program, and I was scared. Like I was like super scared of asking for money. And then I realized, because I did it myself, that when you want to do something, you really want to. You need to put all you got, and then you'll get results.
So let's talk about some results, and what exactly is it that you do today for your clients?
Well, I keep learning. I'm a maniac. I mean, I've got 24 hours per day, and I wish I didn't have to sleep, because then all the time that I got left, apart from the sleeping time, I'm learning and studying and implementing my trainings and my services. So what I do is it's a six steps to 6 figures coaching training. So it's basically giving them like a simple step-by-step process to follow. That, I mean, not saying that's the magic formula. I'm not saying either it's a quick make make money quick formula, because you need to do the work. But what I help them is to go all in full time. I mean, instead of wasting thousands of dollars and 2 years of their time, or 3 years, or whatever it takes, I mean, I just give them what it really worked for me. And it's basically, it's a simple process. Like, it's just, you basically want to brand yourself. You want to have like a product that actually changes people's lives, and you want to be doing the right thing, because making money, I think, I truly believe, when you really when you focus on helping people, the money is a byproduct. Whereas when you focus on money, then you chances are you end up broke.
Totally. So do you want to break down your six steps? I obviously you just go through them. You don't have to like give us all.
Don't give us it all, because we want people to go to you and help.
Yeah. So well, basically, it is important to have your message right. Okay. You want a product or a service that it actually changes people's lives. So we need to make sure that your shit is, your shit, and it works, right? Because if you're trying to get the money out of people and you give nothing in exchange, this not sustainable. So you basically want to have a business which is sustainable. That means something that you love doing, that you're going to be enjoying long term, and something that's going to add value to the people's lives. Then I also, you need to find out who you want to help. And most coaches, not most coaches, but a lot of coaches, they want to help everyone. And I wanted to help everyone. And when you want to help everyone, you end up helping no one and making no money, because it is nearly impossible to have a product that fits everyone. So you want to niche down who your target audience is, and then you want to know really where they hang out, and just go there, get your message right. Because if you got your product and you got your audience, but you don't have a connection between the two of them, so there's no way they know what you do. So there's basically these three things, and to get them right, you basically follow 6 different steps. But in a nutshell, it will be your product, which will be a high-ticket product, a message, it will take like branding and authority, and your niche. And your niche will be like, you need to follow some steps as well, because you want to make sure that your niche resonates with you. And when you talk to them, they listen to you and they understand that what you have, it can help them. And then you want to only one funnel system. And when I say funnel system, I'm not talking about fancy technology or software that you need to take it to handle, but like a system to generate leads and close sales.
When do you know that your goals aren't big enough, and when are they too big? And I feel like you blew yours out of the water real quick, right? And like how do you know if wow, that was almost too easy, and then okay, I hit those really quick. Do I 10x that, or do I double, or do I triple, or where does that go, right? And so that's just really interesting.
Yeah, this is a good question as well, and this is something that I've been thinking a lot about today, because I know when the goal is right, when I get scared, and when I kind of feel like, fuck, I don't know if I can do that. Then I know that I'm getting to the right place. Because if it doesn't scare me, upgrading my programs or making, reaching out to so many people, or increasing my conversion ratio, or like an amount that I want to make. And when I think about it, and I feel like a little bit scared, and this is something I discuss with my coach on a weekly basis, and I told him, look, I want you to push me, because I realized that one of the problems that most people have is that we set too little goals, and we dream too small. And look, if you do things right, there's no limit. So I make sure that every time I set a goal and I see myself, I mean, it scares me a little bit.
Nice.
That's good.
Awesome.
Good. So I like talking about this. This is my favorite question. I think it has so much value in it. Is, you know, this journey of entrepreneurship. It goes, you know, we are all on a journey. This is all a journey for everybody. No one is excused from the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. And so often on social media, we talk about the ups and the good stuff and all the amazing stuff and the reaching our goals, but we don't talk about the shit that happened that made us, that the stuff that's in the dark that nobody likes to talk about. And that's the stuff that I like to bring up because I think it's super valuable for people. So I'm curious, what would you say your biggest failure has been, and how have you been able to overcome that?
My biggest failure. The things that failure is a word that I don't think it is in my dictionary because look, it sounds topical because everyone's on social media talking about these fantastic things, but no one applies them, you know, and this shit doesn't work unless you make it work. And when I fail at something, or when someone would consider that that's a failure, I think it's a learning lesson, and I'm ready for the next one. And when I make a mistake or when something doesn't work out the way I want it, I'm grateful because I know that I'm learning something that I need to learn in terms to move forward. So I don't think there's failure. I mean, people have this tag about there's no such thing. I mean, when you die. Look, there's something that happened to me in my life, and that's changed a lot the way I live, the way I think. And it is that the first time it happened when I was 21, and I got in a big car crash, and I nearly died. And after that, because I was surrounded with bad companies and the wrong people, if you will, it happened like 3 more times. So that means that I'm basically talking here with you guys by the grace of God, and not that I'm a big believer, but it's so easy to just leave this world that we got a very limited time. And the time we're here, there's no such thing as failure because as you grow, you learn, and you make mistakes. And I made a lot of mistakes, but I see them now as learning lessons and as things that I got like a lot of stuff to learn from. And this is my approach to failure. I'm not scared to failure. I'm not even scared to death because I did die like almost 3 times. And it's like, you know, it's going to happen at some point. So look, don't take life so seriously, you know. This is my...
That's amazing. And that's something we live by is like, okay, so that totally didn't work, whatever we set there, or like we had some sort of outcome and it didn't happen, or something we tried, or business, or blah, 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 whatever. Like, where's the breakdown? What didn't happen? It usually comes down to like either a communication thing with somebody on the team. It came down to our expectations. Your expectations were just off. You had these expectations that like you're going to hit these numbers, but like really you didn't put in the effort, the time, the everything to really hit those numbers. And so let me ask you this question in a different way. When did you have some expectations that your life should have went like one way, but things went completely a different way? And then like, what was the lesson that you learned from that?
Okay, that makes sense. So look, to me, the biggest one, it would be when I decided I wanted to get to Australia, because I didn't speak English and I didn't have money. I didn't have a job and I was broke, but I wanted to live life differently. So I was going to make whatever it took. And I thought that it was going to be fucking awesome. And I thought that I was going to work in the music industry because I have been working in the music industry for like almost 10 years by the time that I went there. And I wanted to study music business, and I wanted to do all these things. And I ended up washing cars, washing dishes, working as a cleaner, working doing removals, and doing everything that an engineer would never do in Spain, and I did it all in Australia. So this was a massive learning lesson, and it was a thing. American people, or I've heard it some friends from the States that they call it the humble pie. You know, because I was there like I'm on the top of the world. I'm an engineer. I've got my degree. I know shit. And then I got there. I couldn't speak in English. No one could understand me. I couldn't understand anyone. So I had to go like I was in the bottom of the how you say this? Well, I was just doing shit that I thought I would never have to do. And I even worked for food, like literally. I had to clean dishes for like a meal. But I wasn't a failure because I didn't give up, and I just went. I see things through, and I kept going and I kept going and I kept trying new things until something worked.
That's awesome.
And here you are making 20 grand months now, so good thing.
And you're speaking English.
And speaking English, yeah.
I do what I can.
But I get not understanding them. Those Aussies sometimes have some accent, and you just can't understand what the hell they're saying. Even us.
And we have a lot of Aussie listeners, and we absolutely love you.
Half the people that listen to the show are Aussies.
That is funny.
Right.
So, do you have any words, like words of wisdom that you want to just say to our listeners who are listening, who are out there, they're working on building their coaching business, they're wanting to make an impact? What would you say to them?
Look, I would just say that believe what you preach, you know, because we all talk about dreaming big. We all talk about being consistent, about taking, you know, the leap and going all in, but just a few do. And a lot of people, they bullshit themselves. They're saying that they don't have time, they don't have money, and they end up doing nothing. So look, go all in wherever your dream is, because what's the worst thing that could happen, you know? Life is, we only get to live once. So you better make the most out of it, and don't be scared of, because when you take the leap and you have faith in yourself and you go all in, 100% committed, and you burn all your bridges, then good shit happen. So this is I mean, it sounds topical, you know, and I was in the same place. I didn't kind of believe it, but once you experience it, you're like, wow. So this was real.
Okay,
So this is
Totally.
So where can people find you to connect with you?
Oh, well, I basically use Facebook, and I got a website, but I don't use it that much. So they can find me, Carlos Adell, and, and the spelling of that is going to be funny. I don't know if you guys have a link that you can share or something. Otherwise, it's carlosadell.com is my website. There's not many fancy stuff there, but I basically use Facebook. So
perfect. So it's Carlos Adell, and so Adell is spelled like Adele the singer, but with 2 L's instead of an E at the end.
Yeah.
I'm impressed that you know how to spell her name. I had no idea.
He'd said it. That's the only way.
Yeah.
I'm a closet Adele.
Awesome.
Yeah, like you come in here and I'm like with headphones on, listening to like,
crying and singing.
Hello.
Awesome, I love it. Carlos, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story and sharing some knowledge with our people on what it really takes for them to be able to package up their passions and really be able to go out and do this powerfully. So I appreciate you. To our listeners, I appreciate you for listening. Go check out Carlos yourself. Again, carlosadell.com, or look him up on Facebook. And it's like the best business card ever is on Facebook. So definitely a great place to go from there. And that's all for this episode, and we will see you guys next time.
Bye.
Thank you.